Okay, how we doing? Everybody here? It's a nice, decent crowd. I could use some more, and they're all familiar faces, pretty much. Where is everybody else? Listen, again, thank you very much for coming. It's very important. Elections are very important, and this is an important one for us. And my feeling was that I really knew a lot of the candidates, but I didn't know all the candidates, and some of the candidates I didn't know at all. I wouldn't recognize them if I bumped into them. So before I selected the people I wanted to vote for, I thought it would be wise to introduce these people to myself as well as everyone else. There are some people out there that have already pre-selected candidates and have asked you to back them, but I can't do that. I need to know who I'm voting for. It's too important. All right, so what I did, I established this town hall meeting by putting in the proper notice and the proper deposit. And it's my right as a property owner to do that, even though that right was questioned. I did it. And then I contacted the candidates and asked them to come. Each of them I contacted in person or by email, but most of them I have seen in person. This meeting, since we have another candidates night on Thursday, this meeting, I see the purpose of it to get to know the candidates, not really to question individually the candidates. There's some concepts out there that I thought they could address without individual. Well, let me put it this way. What I did is I sent them questions that I spoke to some people, owners like myself, to formulate questions to present to them that might give us an idea, a better idea about them. And I sent them this letter, which I'm going to read, and then we're going to begin. It's, pardon me one moment. I'm of the age. Dear board candidates, it's important to me and for IV to make tonight's town hall meeting informative and not confrontational. The assembled owners are here to find out what you have to say so they can make an informed decision when they vote. With that goal in mind, after you introduce yourselves, the moderator will present the same questions for each candidate to address. There will be no questions from the floor in order to learn as much from you and to avoid controversy. At 9 p.m., the meeting will end and we can look forward to questions from the owners at Candidates Night on Thursday. And by the way, when we're done here, Christine is nice enough to invite us back into the tea room to finish up what we didn't finish. Okay? In order for all the candidates to have equal time to think about the questions, I have listed them below. Time will not permit every question to be asked, but they all represent topics of interest to owners. Thanks for taking your time for coming tonight, and an even bigger thanks, a bigger thank you for being willing to run for the board. It can be a difficult and thankless job. Okay, these are the questions, potentially, and they're not all going to be asked. Of course, we have less people here than we invited. These are the people that haven't been able to make it this evening. Now, question number one. The association recently received an insurance settlement and has nearly $2 million on hand. How would you allocate those funds? Two, too many recent board meetings have been raucous and antagonistic. What would you do to create a cooperative, professional atmosphere? Three, would you support investors buying foreclosed units, or would you support the association buying foreclosed units with some of the recent insurance proceeds? Four, were you ever a tenant? If so, were you significantly a different person than you are now as an owner? 5, Do you think a property manager should live on the premises he manages? 6, would you consider self-management of International Village? 7, do you think it is important for owners to attend regular board meetings? 8, after Hurricane Wilma, $280,000 of association funds were spent to fix selected units and not others with similar damage. Those funds were never repaid. Would you consider recovering those funds? 9, what steps would you take to reduce IV's delinquencies? And 10, what would you recommend doing to enhance the values of the condos in International Village? Okay, that was the story to each candidate. And the candidates that are not here received the same notice. Okay, that this was just strictly going to be an opportunity to hear what they have to say. All right, that's the story. So we're going to begin, and we're going to try to do it in different orders. I think we're sitting in alphabetical order. Did we take the seats that our names are on? Yeah. We did. Okay, because they were put in alphabetical order. All right, so we'll start now. Let's see. Okay. I guess something that we're all very interested in and would like to know about is what steps would you take to reduce IV's delinquency? We have tens of thousands of dollars that are not going in our treasury, and we need to do something about it. So maybe we can start with Mr. Kaufman. Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I know you're going to correct me. I'm a little wrapped up here. And, yeah, this part of the evening is the introductions, the self-introductions of the candidates. So if you don't mind, Mr. Kaufman, we'll start from you.
Hi everyone, I'm glad to see all of you.
Can everybody hear him?
No. Hello everyone, I'm pleased to be here and to see all of you here. My resume was already published and sent out to all of you with the voting materials. However, just to encapsulate some of that, I'm a retired lawyer, New York. I'm a litigation lawyer and have litigation experience of over 40 years. And in the course of my practice and my partnership, I've litigated many different types of affairs, including real estates, condominiums, subdivisions. There's very little in the background of my general experience that I haven't encountered. So I just wanted to let you know that that is my general background. In addition, I'm a retired Navy officer and a veteran of 2 wars. And I would be very pleased if I could be on the board of directors as an owner here, which I am an owner, to help all of us solve some of these problems, and mainly these financial problems that plague us, and to bring this very beautiful place back to the eminence that it once had.
Good evening, everyone. Most of you, know me if you've been attending board meetings, because I've been on the board for 3 years, and the last 2 years I've served as vice president of the board.
Would everybody please say their name?
Oh yes, I'm about to get that. My name is Linda Dakar, and so I know you've seen me in operations, and I'd just like to share maybe some more personal facts with you that you might not know about me. And one, my name is Linda Dakar. I was born in Washington, D.C. and raised in New England along the coastline. I am the oldest of 7 children and have been very interested in serving group needs in one way or another all my life. My main interests from very young have been chiefly in the creative and performance arts, And as I used to say as a kid, I want to be a research scientist, not knowing exactly what that meant. Well, in my life, both aspirations have been and are ongoingly fully realized. I attended Boston University School of Fine Arts on scholarship and graduated with honors. Then I was invited by Rogers and Hammerstein and 20th Century Fox to come to New York, where I starred on Broadway, TV, and film for 15 years and worked in every aspect of, production, press, and all of that, in addition to being so fortunate to have so many strong leading roles. And so I'm familiar with the grunt work, and I'm familiar with being in front. Meantime, as I was going along after 15 years of this, I wanted more, and my other interests started rising in me. I became more and more interested in metaphysics, which is the study of how things work, spirituality, healing. I then attended, heard a great speaker, great teacher, and I then chose to attend Religious Science International, amongst many other courses of study, where I received 6 years of in-depth ministerial training on universal spiritual consciousness, how to bring those things into your everyday life, and the practical law.